Carlos. Sam, Gabriella. So if everybody can just get settled in, if you're feeling settled, bring your attention to your heart. Jacob and Ayush and Karan, if you guys can check in with Robert, that would be great. Um, No. Mm. All right, so we're basically ready, except for I think Robert's. People message Robert. Jacob, please message Robert. Mhm. So if in meditation, welcome everybody. Namaste. You're sitting here and we're meditating. If we feel exuberance, a radiance of love, it's definitely a skill or a cultivation or some sort of knowledge of what to do. But if you could just sit and feel, I am radiating with love, This subdues the mind. We don't have to control the mind. Instead, we can feel this radiance of love, and the mind becomes still. And not only do we have a still mind, but we have this expansive energy of the heart, which is really what we're seeking anyway. So today's class is on the 4 paths of yoga. There's 4 paths in yoga, and they're ways to enlightenment. Perhaps we can think of a couple other paths, but these are 4 key methods. And this way of feeling the heart radiating is bhakti. So you can get very good at it. And you can put a lot of time into practicing this. You can sit on the couch for 3 hours a day and feel your heart, and it won't be time wasted because you're doing something so profound. I mean, just think, if you can feel your heart chakra, how that changes every situation in your life. If you're embodying some sort of absolute effulgence of heart energy, everybody feels it who encounters you. Every challenge has a different light aura about it. There's wisdom that comes through in that. So this is bhakti. So I'd like to go over the 4 paths, which are bhakti yoga. So we'll also do a meditation, but just a little discussion sermon to start the session, which is to discuss these 4 paths. And this could mean impetus for more research. You can look them up. You can contemplate them. Why are there 4 paths? Why aren't there 10 paths? Why is there not 1 path? You can really go into it and try to see for yourself the nature of yoga and this categorization that is a part of yoga. So bhakti yoga, the yoga of love or heart, that's my preferred definition. A lot of people say it's the yoga of devotion. And in bhakti yoga, we love our way into enlightenment. We love our way into greater consciousness. And love is very synonymous with being. We learn to be immersed in the love that is our nature. Of course, acts of love, everything love. I mean, if you were to prioritize love, buy some rose quartz crystals, burn some vanilla incense, be gentle, be kind. It's a really wonderful way to be, and it changes how you feel, and it awakens intelligence. So bhakti yoga, as you know, that's a part of my name because this was very central to my personal practice. That's very rewarding. So a really wonderful path. Then there's karma yoga, the yoga of action. Oh, and bhakti yoga, why is it devotion? You can devote yourself to, like, another way to look at it in more traditional is like devoting yourself to a deity or to God and singing, chanting, kirtan, dancing. There's a whole actual culture around it. Irish is like, yep, happens outside my house. Right. In fact, it's interesting. I'd love to hear a little later on, Ayush, what you think of my definition, which is a little different. And it's what my teacher actually taught me. He said, Adam, you're very bhakti. That's your real path, but it's a little bit non-conventional for me. Right. So I do it my own way. But I think it's important to be careful not to fall into any traditions unless that's your path. Right? Sometimes the tradition can be your path, or maybe you don't have to do it that way. So I still practice love, and I like kirtan. I go to kirtan every now and then, but I don't memorize all the songs, and I don't make that a central part of my practice, do it every day or anything like that. And that's more just fun, mostly because I get to meet a lot of loving people at Kirtan. If you live in a city where they have Kirtan, I highly recommend just checking out a Kirtan, Kirtan. Um, it's quite a scene. You'll you'll get a lot of really happy, positive people. It's pretty magical. Sam, you're in New York, so I'm sure you'll have find some really great Kirtan there. Carlos, you're in California. Depends on the city. Uh, but yeah, okay. So then there's karma yoga. Karma means action. Uh, basically, when you do things and let's see, every action we take informs our state of mind. Actions can generate energy. When we take actions with impeccability, with the right intentions centered on service and spiritual sentiment, when we work really hard and really perfectly and revise and refine our work, you become more conscious. Some people to think of as like Mother Teresa worked really hard in service. That's a very karma yoga sort of path. Um, um, any entrepreneur, perhaps, like if you work in a way that you are erasing yourself. All what is common to all of these is a sense that you're erasing the part that is illusory around who you are. So when you work for the welfare of others constantly, very intensely, there's an erasing of that selfish center that creates separativity between us and the universe. Now, this is the essence of karma yoga, which I practice as well, mostly by considering the karmic repercussions of my actions. When I do something, if I snap at somebody, I can feel the energy change in my being. If I am calm and I just accept the, you know, potentially annoying slowness of some sort of experience in the city, then I don't dissipate my energy through resistance. And then there's a whole structure of terminology in this. There's something called karma phala, means the fruits of your actions. Karma bandha means attachment to the results of your actions. Akarma means non-action, which can actually be a good karma. Vaikarma, which means bad action. There's a lot of Sanskrit terms, and you can study karma yoga. And I think it's important to know about karma yoga, no matter which path you practice. The next is jnana yoga, the yoga of knowledge. Perhaps some of you have heard the common phrase, who am I? This is when you meditate, a lot of times you say, okay, well, if you're meditating, ask, who am I? And you have to be careful though, because you don't want to say it intellectually or verbally. The goal is to discover who you really are and ask the question in a way that leads you to an embodiment of that truth. So Sam and I were just talking before the session, and we were saying like, well, who are you really? Are you the personality? Are you the body? Are you a soul, or are you something even beyond the soul? Right? What is the witness? And where is the witness? What is the witness? And you can go into this and discover that you are ultimate reality, ultimate truth. You could take it that far, and that's jnana yoga. A figure that you might consider is very jnana, I'd say, is well, Ramana Maharshi, it oftentimes encourages that approach to becoming more conscious. He's a little bhakti too, though. He's got this really loving vibe about him, but he really says, who are you? And he really just constantly says that when he was working with his students. His name's Ramana Maharshi, really wonderful, very wonderful sage in India in the 20th century. So that's jnana. Now, jnana actually also includes anything with the mind. It's kind of the path of the mind, um, the path of understanding, comprehension. So mathematics in a way is very jnana. Computer programming is very jnana. And by the way, the spelling is Jnana. We could talk about this for like 10 hours, and it could be a whole kind of course on the four paths of yoga, or just for on jnana yoga. So think of this as an impetus for your own study, giving you some words, and you can read books by these people. You might say, well, what am I? Like, am I jnana? Am I bhakti? Am I karma? Which one am I? Right. So you can really begin that, and we can talk about it more. But I think it's nice to just build a well-rounded awareness of certain spiritual things. Four paths of yoga is very essential. So jnana yoga, yeah, if you have a very well-structured mind, Krishnamurti is very jnana. If you watch his talks on YouTube or read his books, you'll see he's constantly analyzing and understanding. And when you understand something, it doesn't leave an impression of confusion. So there's a lot of aspects to jnana. If you have an experience, say somebody looks at you funny, and you're like, wait, what happened? Or some social experience happens that throws you off. It wouldn't throw you off if you understood everything there. Your intentions, the intentions of the other people involved. A complete understanding that leads to compassion and humility, right? Because you know who you are, and you went through an experience, and it didn't mean anything. You understood everything. That's a very jnana technique that Krishnamurti talks about, actually. Okay, and then there's Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is the royal yoga, royal like in kings and queens, royal. And it has to do with the light. When you experience the light, the essence, in a way, it's kind of very advanced. It's very direct. If you can just go into the light, experience waves of gold light or the colored light washing through your astral body, you transform. The light transforms you. It purifies you. It changes it's a transmutation of consciousness. So the light is Raja Yoga, Raja, and it's a little bit more esoteric. Sometimes it can be a little harder to find it. People find it through taking drugs or having a mystical teacher. Hopefully I can, if you're interested in Raja Yoga, hopefully I'm enough to help you experience it just through eye gazing, which is a little easier in person, but the light can be transmitted and pointed to empathically through eye gazing. You can experience an empathic attunement that occurs in that process. So really I do my primary is jnana and Raja. Oh, sorry, not jnana. Well, it's bhakti and Raja, but it's also jnana. And I definitely practice karma. So I do all of them, but my love is bhakti. I love to feel the love. If the light's there, I want hearts there. If the math is there and the clarity is there, I want heart there. That's what makes me feel fulfilled in the moment. Because bhakti is the bliss of being. If you can just really find how far that goes, the bliss of being. Just the whole idea that being is blissful may be a novel concept. Being, our very nature, is blissful. If you can sit and just feel absolute ecstasy and bliss to the point where you don't think, you don't do anything, you just sit for an hour, that's very beautiful, right? So that's bhakti, and that changes everything in our lives, because You're not in a rush to get anywhere. Your abundance, your independence, just by being blissful. But without the light, it lacks potency. You can't really open and clear the heart without the light really washing through and cleansing. I mean, you could meditate and feel your heart chakra, but the light goes deeper. It goes into a deeper part of the heart. So, um, so that's Raja. Then there's a few other paths. There's the path of Tantra. And when I say Tantra, I don't mean sexual yoga. I mean the Tibetan Tantra ancient practice, which basically it's a very advanced practice because you're following all the four paths of yoga, but there's no restrictions. So you're able to say, sometimes there's avoidance in the four paths of yoga, certain kinds of avoidance that usually don't go so well spiritually. But in Tantra, if you've purified yourself so much, there's really certain things you don't need to avoid. You don't necessarily need to avoid relationships. You don't have to be a celibate monk necessarily. That maybe that would help you initially, but later on, maybe it would help you become more spiritual to get married, right? So there's certain prohibitive things that take their rightful place in Tantra. But you don't break the rules, really. You're still kind. You still do what's righteous. So it's a little bit more of a complex topic. Each moment brings the question of like, what is enlightened here? What would be an enlightened thing to do? So Tantra is like this path of um, no rules, but still correct. It's hard to say. And then there's the ascetic path, which is to just say, I have nothing. Somebody will give me food. Maybe somebody will give me shelter. And then you just total simplicity, right? So it's a very ascetic path. And then there's more paths. You could talk about Zen Buddhism, things like that. But those six are kind of yoga-like. Is asceticism an official yoga path? I don't know. So those are the four paths. Let's just go with those four paths of yoga: Karma yoga, Bhakti yoga, Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, and Raja yoga. So maybe ask yourself, like, well, do I practice all of these? And is one of them more of a predilection for me? Do I focus on one more than another? And remember, enlightenment is a state of erasing yourself, so you have a different vantage point. There should be sacredness, a sense of sacredness, a sense of truth, a sense of freedom in enlightenment. So I'd like to answer any questions. Anybody have a question? Come on, one question. Anything resonate with anybody? Anybody practice this already? Ariel, you can't yawn in that moment. Carlos, I'd love to talk with Carlos. I'm gonna call on somebody. I hope that's okay, Carlos.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I've been practicing Yana. I didn't know what that was the name, but I've been following this guy on YouTube that posts daily videos, and that's his whole that what you described is exactly what he talks about, of just sort of observing your mind and detaching from the thoughts that arise and using that as kind of a focal point in the meditation rather than the breath. But is the breath a part of that, or part of all of them?
Oh, yeah, there's something called pranayama. breathing exercises. Pranayama is a little bit in the direction of, I would say it's like Raja Yoga, because prana is the ambient energy in the astral plane. So there's energy all around. And when you breathe, you actually build a charge in your body, and that charge can open your chakras, and ultimately open you into the light. You don't have to do pranayama to get to the light. If you can just focus right into the light, you're already there. But pranayama has a more, it like it, I mean, it's great if you do pranayama, and it works for you, definitely keep doing it. But the point of it is to start to see the more subtle planes of reality, and to do that, you have to clear your energy body. And the light, if you can experience the light, it clears the energy body very well. But if you can't experience the light, you can do chakra exercises in pranayama. How about you, Ariella? Anything want to say? Okay. How about you, Sam?
How do I use it?
What?
Light in your body. How do I feel the light in my body?
Well, you know how we were doing the eye gazing. Did you see any light?
I would say I felt it, but not see it.
So if when we meditate now, let's really try to focus. I'll do a little bit of a guided. The key is to look. You see how I was looking, right? I'm holding my vision and looking at everything at once. Let's try and do it just for a moment. So looking at everything at once. There's a lot of aspects of this. You have to recognize that you can become transparent in your body. Stop asserting your physical existence. Stop collapsing into a particular focus. When we become very yin, which means we hold a lot of space and emptiness, you can actually make your body look like it's transparent too. That's very, very yin. I'm doing a little bit of it now. If you focus on your third eye, that can also help you to see the light. And while you're looking, see if you can look at everything at once. And bring your attention to the brightest points.
Oh wow, it's like there's an overlap of something beyond this, what I'm seeing with my eyes. There's an overlap of another dimension.
You're seeing another the word, when I use plane, that's what I mean, the overlap. Another plane that's within and a part of and on top of the sense perception of the eyes. And you can feel it. So it begins as a mist sometimes. So this is a very central part of very intense spiritual practice, is to be able to intend your mind into the light and bring it and bring the light into your body. It's very healing when you bring it into your body. A few things you can do is really make sure you're expanding your field of attention. Don't be so confined to the physical body. Feel out into the room, above the head, behind the back, underneath the body.
Wow, it gets stronger as I expand my vision. I
Beautiful.
feel it more intensely.
And then that feeling, if you sit with it, it can accumulate, almost as if it's a substance that's accumulating. and you can bring it into your body, and it feels lovely. It's a lovely feeling. It feels like a vitality, life force. And then when you're in the light, there's actually different colors, or different parts of the light. You can see colors, qualities of light. You begin to develop a subtle ability to move the light and to intend yourself into different aspects of the light. You guys trying to do it with me? In person, it's usually we gaze at each other's eyes. It's like eye gazing, but you don't look at the physical eyes and body. You really, there's just a attunement that occurs, transmission. So I'm inviting you to look at me, basically. It's key that you focus your visual eyes on a single spot, but don't look at that spot. You're just keeping your eyes steady. It's when you move your eyes focus onto objects. We don't want to focus onto objects because we want to see the energy. Smiling because the energy is really building. So Carlos, I'm going to stay in this energy and try not to move your eyes, but I'd love to hear. Let's see if we can make sure see if you can get into this with me. Have you been doing it?
Yeah, is it normal to see little like a green glow around objects, like faint?
That sounds like you're seeing the light. I wouldn't say necessarily that it's normal. That sounds like a kind of unique perception, actually. Lovely. So you're seeing something, so that follow, it's kind of like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole. Follow down the rabbit hole further. So you're like, okay, I know where the rabbit hole is. I see this green light. And now feel with your mind into that light. Play with it. Okay, how about you, Sam?
Getting waves of light, like you're dropping water into a shallow lake and it's just beaming from all directions.
Okay, that is a very good experience that you're having, and there's a name for that called soma. You're feeling the waves of light washing through your mind.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, stay with that. That's extraordinarily healing to experience that. Um, Carlos, definitely seeing green light is extraordinarily healing as well. Green is the color of the heart. When you feel the soma, it kind of it's moving, so it has this kind of quality of dislodging any sort of density that's formed. How about you, Mom?
I'm not experiencing anything today. Maybe
Well,
it's amount of planes flying over.
well, that's because you do better with your eyes closed when it comes to the light. Maybe
Yeah.
close your eyes. That's okay.
Okay.
That's my mom. She really actually is amazing at experiencing the light. She sees all different kinds of colors, but she sees them with her eyes closed for whatever reason. You can see all of this with your eyes closed or open. When you hold your eyes open, it for some it's a little easier not to let your mind wander, which happens more easily with eyes closed. Okay, so Carlos, keep feeling into that light. Sam, keep washing in the waves of light of the soma. Jacob, do we get to see you? No, Jacob? Hmm. It's kind of hard for me to come out of this meditation. It's almost painful to stop meditating at that point. I'd love to do an eyes closed meditation with us as well and just go through the chakras. But I wanted to show you there's a chakra meditation with our eyes closed, which is very wonderful. But try to experience the light. That's like the thing that, like, for many years with my teacher, the whole thing has been I sit with him and we go into light. Otherwise, we wouldn't call it meditation. That's what we do. The way that he lifts and transforms me is I sit there and I feel him in the light and it changes me. It's like it's a very literal sense for spreading the light. If everybody in the world embodied this light, there would be no it's such wholeness and completeness and healing that it would get rid of conflict. It's hard to be in conflict when you're in the light. It's very divine. It's like I'm feeling divine right now. I'm not going to fight with somebody about something that doesn't matter, right? Or I'm going to work with somebody about something that does matter, right? Work together. So, all right. I'd love to do a guided meditation with chakras. Does anybody have any questions about the light or at this point? So that's Raja Yoga. It's the light. So, all right. Okay, so you can close your eyes. You can open your eyes, whatever you like. But you can focus into the light and ignore everything I'm saying if you like. If you're in the light, that's fine. It's always good to feel your heart chakra though, no matter what you're doing. So let's bring our attention to the heart chakra, if you like. heart chakra is right in the center of the chest. It's kind of like the I spot. I am. Who am I? Pointing to your chest. By simply bringing our attention to that vortex within the energy body, we're accumulating heart energy. Feel the spot, feel the heart. Keep directing your attention to the heart center. See if you can invoke feeling of love, heart, joy, truly a full heart. very bhakti to feel your heart. Just meditate on the heart. Let's shift to the third eye. I think it's very important to meditate on the third eye as well. So the third eye is between the eyebrows, a little bit above in the forehead. When you feel it, it feels like a magnetic pressure. Begin by just directing your attention there. And you accumulate the vitality of the life force field in the third eye just by directing your attention there. Direct attention to the crown chakra, the middle of the top of the head. Just bringing your attention to that spot. Feel like a magnetic pressure if you can invoke that physical sensation, which is a part of the energetic energy flow. Let's shift to the navel center, 1 inch below the belly button. Similar to the other chakras, but the quality is a little bit more like fire, in my experience at least. See if you can feel that spot. It's helpful to sit up straight. This is the center of the willpower. It can help to put your hands as if there's a beach ball on your lap. Then you can kind of pull out the energy from the navel, holding that bubble around you. You also just put your finger on the spot, 1 inch below the belly button, inch or so. And see if you can just feel it at all. Any level of feeling and recognition that there's an important vortex of energy there is itself a transformation. So give it your attention for about 10 more seconds. We're going to do that one a little shorter, for shorter duration. Now back to the heart. It's always good to end on the heart, start on the heart. You'll really invoke within yourself a sense of gratitude and presence, joy, blissfulness. And take a moment and feel the balance of these 4 chakras all activated to a greater degree now. Feel the poise, the power, the clarity, the love, the will. The crown is a kind of transcendence. Also just feels really nice to be expanded all the way to the top of the head. And then bring your attention through the Yana method, who am I? Recognizing that there's some witness here who has witnessed these experiences and this experience now. See if you can make that shift. Acknowledging the witness that is you. Namaste. Mm. Mm. All right, Colleen. Mother, did you see any light this time?
I did. I saw the warm colors like orange, reddish, and then I did see some cream color.
Nice.
But I had a new sensation today, some tingling
Where'd you feel it?
just around.
Okay. Tingling. Yeah, that could be more of the astral or just the astral playing on the physical body. Nice.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Ariella, would you like to share? Namaste, Mom.
It was a wonderful experience. I started off just blanking out completely, but then afterwards, I started to see some yellow and greenish,
Nice.
and that was the first time. So
Wow, congratulations. First time seeing the colors.
yes,
Wonderful. Wow. Well, play with that. You know, you can sit in the mirror. Well, mirrors kind of became my favorite thing. You could go and sit every time you see a mirror, you can just and stare at yourself and go into light, and it actually it's very helpful. So you can, you know, do it anywhere. Do it at the airport. When I was doing it at the airport, this is one time in the bathroom, and this little kid comes up to me and says, "Are you Jesus?" It's hilarious. It was so funny. He was very serious. Well, I'm standing there like probably wearing all white, like like meditating with the mirror. It was pretty funny. So yeah. Well,
oh, I've done that. Thank you.
what was that?
I've never done it with a mirror.
Yeah,
Thank
try that. Just gaze at yourself, just like we were doing, and um, and just now that you know what the colored light is like, you could probably find it more easily and discover even more. So,
Thank you.
namaste, Ariella. Carlos, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, I don't know why when we were focusing on the heart, I started crying like I for no reason.
Oh,
I just like had this sensation like something I don't know for what reason, but I don't know if it was sadness or happiness. I don't know, but it was a strange sensation, but
that's
it felt
what.
great like afterwards.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what
wonderful.
it was, but yeah, it was yeah.
What your heart opened to a new level. That's when your heart opens, there's like it's when you cry because something's so beautiful. It's
Yeah.
it's like the energetic aspect of it you just had happen. That's like my favorite. I love it when people cry in the meditations or when I cry because it's like you're just getting in touch with what matters. I love that, Carlos. Yay! Wonderful. Congratulations. Now you can do that every night before bed. Have a nice cry, feel a lot of love. You'll sleep like a baby, promise you.
Yeah.
I not promise, but I give you a high probability of that occurring.
Happy to hear.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how about you, Sam?
Yeah, I second that crying thing.
Oh, did
Results are
you?
not typical, but
Oh, did you know you cried too?
I felt this feeling of sizzling. I don't know what it was, but it felt healing.
It sounds like you maybe
And
felt what my mom felt a little bit. She said tingling, and you're calling it sizzling.
sizzling like bubbles and waves and things happening. Like, when your foot is numb but it felt nice.
It's like a revitalization, right?
Yeah. It's
Mom,
like
Mom, you threw your hands up like you are in a
it's like booting up somehow, booting something up,
booting up.
or something that's been stiff for a while, and then it becomes softer and lighter.
Nice. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's when we focus on the astral body, we revitalize things that have become stagnate and calcified. And the word I like to use actually is density. We want to go from density to fluidity. And when we go into this energy, we become fluid. The heart can be dense and blocked, and then you go into the energy and it's clear and moving. And this is a very healthy thing. Like this, people will feel this if you really practice this. It's like when you're around people, like, wow, that feels really wonderful. They'll feel you, and you'll be moving back. You know, I couldn't dance when I first started this practice. I wasn't a good dancer. I was kind of like awkward. I couldn't move. Man, I can dance all over the place now, and and it was because of this practice. I was too locked up in my energy, and then when the energy started flowing, there's an intelligence that tells you where to move, how to move. And that's what dancing really is. And so it's a rebooting. Sam's a
Yeah.
big computer guy, so that's his metaphor.
I felt like I just got rinsed. Like somebody put me in a bottle and just shook it up really hard,
Yeah.
and I'm clean now.
Nice. Nice. Namaste, Sam. Mom, you're gonna say you agreed or something similar?
And I feel that it's the same as what I was feeling, because when you kind of go numb and the tingling your feeling comes back, it tingles. That was the feeling.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Nice. Now you guys both had it. It must be in the energy. I did that meditation with my eyes open, which I actually is a good sign. I'm really in the energy now. And I don't know if you guys saw that I was doing the chakras with the eyes open, which I haven't been doing. Usually I've been closing my eyes, but for me, my preferred is eyes open. Well, I do both. But Karen and Ayush, would you like to make a quick comment? If you'd like. You don't have to. Okay, namaste, Karan. Thank you. Ayush is in Nirvana right now, so he's unavailable. Please leave a message. Wonderful. That's great. Ayush is totally not responding. I love it. Stay with it. All right, guys. Namaste. Thank you. We do this every Tuesday at 6. So if this is your first time, I'd love to see you again. And please, if you're interested in building this practice up, it's good to bookend your days with meditation. 15 minutes is kind of a minimum. Sit in the mirror and meditate for 15 minutes when you wake up. Sunset is a powerful time to meditate. That's another time. So if you do it twice a day, make this a part of your life. It's a very valuable investment in the very deep part of yourself. So, and you can do all these techniques, kind of piece them together. I recommend heart and light. Heart and light. That's the primary approach that I recommend. And I always love to be around people that are connected with those two. So, or most always, if they're in a good place. Bye, everybody. And Carlos, you're welcome to join the coding class tomorrow. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. Cool. It'd be good to see you. All right. Bye, everybody. Oh, do you have,
Adam,
are you
thank
raising
you.
your hand, Mom? Oh, bye. Okay. Bye, Ariella.